Aloha, it's CreativeNameToStandOut again with another battle report. So this was 2,500 points, Lizardmen versus Dark Elves on a Monday night gaming night. Starting here are some Ripperdactyls that scout ahead, some Skinks, then the Ancient Stegodon. In the center is the Slan with his Temple Guard. He's level 4 high magic. The level 2 and level 1 Skink Priests are in the Skink cohort, which I think are about 40 strong. Then in the woods is a Bastillodon, some unit of Skinks, and in the back there you can see a unit of Lizardmen. Alright, starting on my side is 10 crossbow elves, 18 witches of full command, a bunker for my sorceress, full command, altar of Cain, executioners, full command with my BSB. Behind this hill, waiting in reserve are, well, not really in reserve, but waiting behind the hill are the Harpies. Next to the hill is my large spearman unit with a level 2 sorceress, more crossbow elves, dark riders who've already scouted to this position, and then my war hydra. So that's the setup. Let's hop into turn 1. My game plan is very straightforward, very simple. I didn't want to get out of position. I wanted to engage his Temple Guard, kill them, and get his Slan because it's worth a lot of points. So through deployment, I was able to get my witches and my executioners paired up against his Temple Guard. So that's my plan. Kill Temple Guard. So we go into his turn. This is his right flank moving up. Gotta watch out for that salamander. He uses his Ripperdactyl scout move and now his first turn move to get behind my lines, and he is going to engage my bunker unit. He has their special token placed on them. So I gotta watch out for the assassination. Here's the center moving up. Here's the left moving up. And then he goes in the magic phase and he casts Fiery Convocation on it. I think that's what it's called. It devastates me. He gets it off irresistibly. I also don't have a chance to put my 5+ ward up from my altar, so nothing I can do about it. Kills a lot of my guys. Pass my break check. And not only is this devastating because he killed a lot of my guys, but it's also pretty much going to shut my magic phase down because this is a remain in play spell and it costs 19 to dispel. So it's fantastic to get off first turn. And then he loses, I think, 8 to 10. I can't see from here, so I'm going to say it's about 8 in the miscast. He takes a wound. So my turn starts, and my priority is damage control. He's moved his Ripperdactyls into the perfect position to assassinate my sorceress. If I turn to face, he'll just allocate attacks to her and kill her, and I don't need to be losing one of my strengths in my army, which is my magic phase. I'm already damaged enough because his magic phase currently did a big dent into my army, and it's going to mitigate my offensive magic. So I move forward, try to delay the inevitable combat, and hopefully whittle down those Ripperdactyls with my Harpies. I'm initiative 5, 10 attacks. Hopefully I can kill 1 or 2 before I get wiped off the board. Otherwise, I move my army pretty aggressively on the left side and relatively conservative on the right side, setting up for future turns. I put the salamander in a position where it's going to have to walk around me. It may not be able to get around my arc. If it marches, it won't be able to shoot. Either way, if it moves right, my Hydra will be able to counter it. Additionally, if his Lizardmen decide to charge my Dark Riders, if they make it, they're going to block off the salamander from shooting because there's not enough space for it to move through. And when they kill my Dark Riders and overrun because of their new rule, I can hit them in the flank with my Hydra and possibly my Spearman. So future planning there. Here is a closer look at my Dark Riders. I also was thinking maybe I could keep it in my front arc, but with movement 6 I don't think I would have. But the other plans are pretty solid. I dispel the Fiery Convocation and I end turn. Okay, I forgot to mention that the Ripperdactyls lost one of theirs by the shooting from my crossbowmen, but they're immune to panic because of frenzy, so it doesn't matter. They charged my Harpies, as you see here. That should be fun. And then he fails charges with his Lizardmen. He does charge my Dark Riders, but he rolls double ones. But an opportunity loss gives him an opportunity to succeed, and his Salamander moves around to shoot his flames at my Hydra, I believe it is. So here's the left side as it moves up. And then he goes in the shooting phase. His Hydra, or his Salamander, not Hydra, goes to shoot his flames, but decides instead to eat one of his handlers. So lucky me. And then his Bastiladon goes to shoot my Hydra with his bound spell. He gets 10 strength 5 hits and only wounds twice. So again, I get lucky there. Otherwise, let's see. Oh, and then his cohort shoot their poison attacks at my Dark Riders. I lose a couple, and then I pass my break check. So that's pretty good. And then predictably, I think I do 1 wound with my Harpies, and then they all die, and he overruns into my Spearman. And here's my best picture of an overlook of the board in this game. For some reason, I didn't take any over the board shots in this game, so I apologize on that. I like to usually do that, but it just escaped me. So it was a pretty close game, so maybe that's why. So let's go on to Dark Elf turn 2. So here we are in Dark Elf turn 2. You can see I've already taken casualties on my witches, some more on my executioners. His magic phases are rocking me. He also has death sniped 1 wound off of my BSB, so I have to get really aggressive here. I declare a charge with my executioners, which you can see here makes it luckily. I also charge my large unit of spears towards his cohort. I fail that, unfortunately. Over here on the right side, my Hydra charges the Salamander. I don't remember if it's because he failed the terror check or just because he chose to flee, but he did flee. He ran through his Bastiladon, who failed its panic check, and it also decided to flee. That put my Dark Riders in a great position. I charged the Bastiladon, it fled off the board, and then they redirected and pushed the Salamander off the board. So that was great. Pushing off 2 units without having to technically kill them is good. Over here, I took a picture of the skinks. I don't know why. Maybe I shot at them and missed. But either way, we go into combat and we do a challenge. So in the challenge, we have my BSB accepts the challenge of his hero only because I only have 1 wound left and she'll probably die to the rank of file. So I'm going to try to hopefully get lucky. He'll miss maybe, and I'll live. Because my BSB doesn't have any protection whatsoever. So we get into combat, and I manage to kill his guy, but he also kills me. But it's great that we kill each other in combat. Now, I don't have an excuse. All I can tell you is that I cheated. I didn't like cheat in the sense that I was like, okay, I'm gonna pull one on this guy, but I still cheated, and that is I struck at initiative 5 still in this picture. So I probably killed 3 more guys more than I should have. Maybe 4 if I'd rolled perfect. So that, as you can see, I lost 4 guys in my second rank. So he maybe would have killed 3 more guys than I would have. I would have lost 3 more guys. He probably would have had 3 more guys at the end of this combat. Either way, I won this combat. I would have won the combat regardless of the 3 because I did beat him by a lot. I did kill a lot of guys. And what's done is done. In the end, I can tell you, as you watch this battle unfold, you'll see that it won't really matter, and something else happened that mitigated my mistake, so it's fine. I hope it was fine with my opponent. I hope it's fine for my viewers, but I'm sorry to everyone out there. I just committed a horrible, horrible, horrible deed. Okay, so going to the other combat. The Ripperdactyls kick my bunker's ass. It hit me in the back, killed a bunch of guys. Having D3+1 frenzy attacks is just really, really good, especially against your core units. I mean, against an elite unit, it's probably a waste, but against an everyday core unit, it was really, really great. So this is how his turn ended. He did not. He pursued me. I was lucky enough, even though he had swift stride, to get away. And in my previous turn, I had moved up my cauldron some. That which meant he overran into my cauldron. So I expect to win that. And we go into Lizardmen turn 3. Okay, and as you can see in this picture, the Stegodon does charge the flank of my executioners. It's kind of a no-brainer, and that's going to spell their doom. He doesn't charge anywhere else. I don't think he charged with his Lizardmen because if he charged my Dark Riders and I stayed, he would kill them and then overrun out of position. And then, of course, if he charged them and then I chose to flee, he would be out of position. So this new quasi-frenzy rule kind of keeps his blocks in a tough predicament. Otherwise, he moves his cohort up. He has them facing both my unit and my Hydra, so that if I charge, they're both in the front. And he's going to choose his javelins to shoot at my Hydra. Then over here, he moves one of his skinks around to start shooting at my crossbow elves. And I don't know if I show it, but he does the same thing over there. And then in his magic phase, I do a really good job at stopping him this turn. He actually rolls pretty low too for the Winds of Magic. And the only thing he really gets off is the Ice Shard Blizzard. Oh, and here's the picture of the skinks getting behind my other crossbowman unit. Over here, after combat, I lose one witch in the combat with my Cauldron versus his Ripperdactyls, and I kill all but one of his Ripperdactyls, which I think has one wound on it. And then we're going to go into turn 3. Alright, so I lied. There's this last combat here, kind of a very important combat, my Executioners versus his Lizardmen and the Triceratops. In this combat, I remember that my guys have great weapons and no always strikes first combat, so I don't do the same mistake twice. So he goes ahead and attacks me. He kills all my guys except for my champion and my standard bearer. They kill 2 of the Source Warriors, Temple Guard, and all that's left that he has is the banner and the slam. I lose combat by a ton. I need Snake Eyes. I don't get it. I break. I lose the standard bearer. His Triceratops runs very, very little, but he has enough to make it into my witches. And then his Slan and his little Temple Guards stick. Now, I just read the rules for this, and I'm pretty sure this balances out my Initiative 5 mistake. He was supposed to overrun, and that would have made a lot of difference in these future turns that are about to happen. So, that's that. Oh well. We'll just say they cancel each other out. So we go into my turn. My turn. I'm already engaged across the board. I charge with my Spearman and my Hydra into the skink cohorts. I don't have a picture of it, sorry. And I go into Magic. And in this phase, I do great. He doesn't get a lot of Dispel dice. I get the Power of Darkness going, the Sacrificial Dagger going. It feels like I'm just being cheesy, but it just goes really well for me. And as you can see in this picture, I give my witches not only the blessing of +1 attack from the Altar of Cain, but I also give them the +1 to hit and +1 to wound. So that's fantastic. Also, on the other side of the board, I protect my Hydra from a countercharge by casting the spell where, I forget, it's fire. If he charges me, every Source Warrior takes a Strength 4 hit. So that's fantastic. We go in the shooting phase. I kill some skinks for the shooting, and then here we go into combat. I just mess his skink cohort unit up. He doesn't do anything really back to me. I think he kills, let's see, 4 warriors, it looks like, and I go to break him, but he has cold-blooded and he rolls 2 1s and 3 dice, so he sticks. And it was my opponent was pretty excited about that. You know, it's actually pretty cool. So I'm stuck, but luckily I have the magic backing me up, and the Source Warrior charge, if he decides to take it, will mess him up too. We go over to the combat with my witches against this Triceratops, and with all the attacks and the boosts, I actually kill the Triceratops after he kills my second rake. So here they are after that combat. Since he charged into me, I can't overrun, and then we go into his turn. Alright, in his turn he makes a pretty big mistake. He takes unnecessary damage. He declares a charge against my Dark Riders. I flee, I get away, and he loses 11 of his Lizardmen. I did 17 wounds to him, so I rolled, I think, a little bit better than normal. But yeah, doesn't even get into the combat. He just charges the Dark Riders, and he exposes his flank to me in future turns. And then over here, since his slant didn't move forward, he was able to move pretty far away from me and at an angle where I will never engage him because of this impassable terrain piece. And he starts to sit back there and shoot at me. So, you know, I feel like if he would have overran, it'd been harder for him to get away. But I did strike at Initiative 5 when I wasn't supposed to, so whatever. It washes out, not a big deal. But unfortunately, he does snipe my Death Wizard. I felt so confident, and I still feel confident, that the leadership Death Knight that's in death shouldn't be able to kill my Lord level character on a normal basis. So I let it through because I feel like I need to stop his other things, not a Death Knight that's not going to kill my wizard. But of course, he rolls a 6, and then I roll a 3, and then I can't roll any 5 pluses, which I can't really expect to, but it'd be nice to. So the odds go against me, and I lose my level 4. And that's too bad, because my magic was what really got me back into this game. Otherwise, he also casts the magic missile at my witches and finishes them off. Okay, and then we go into combat. In the combat phase, my Hydra and my Spearmen again, rock the skinks down to only a few that are left. They break, my Hydra catches them, gets all those points plus the characters, and then we go into my turn. My Spearmen try to hold, but they fail their leadership check, pursue double ones, whatever. So my turn. Only took one picture. Not a big deal, because if I take a second picture, it would just be an overview of the board. Right now, all my things are out of position. I've pretty much captured the left side. The right side just pretty much has the Source Warriors and the Spearman unit with the Hydra in front of them. So it's all about turning to face. So here is my only important picture, really. Here's my Spearmen turn to face the Lizardmen, and then move 2.5 inches to the side to get in their flank. So now they're going to either be forced to face me or have the Hydra in their flank. Puts them in a tough position. So, whatever, turn 4, 1 pick, that's all you needed. Go into turn 5. He chooses not to reform to face my Spearmen, but instead tries to charge my Hydra. I flee, go through the impassable terrain, and fail a difficult terrain, dangerous terrain check, which causes him to take another wound. So he's down to 1 wound left. Otherwise, he just starts chucking spells at me again. In the shooting phase, his skinks shoot at my last 3 crossbowmen. He knocks them down to 2. Then he shoots on the other side of my unit of 2 crossbowmen, and then he knocks them down to 1. Really, these last 3 turns, it's just been a duel between my crossbow elves and his skinks, and I've been losing, but we're just shooting back and forth to each other. Alright, so we go into turn 5. But when we were keeping track, my opponent said it was turn 6, so I guess we just lost track. I am horrible at this. I don't ever count the turns. I really need to find a way to keep track, but I always forget to. So I declared charge against the flank of his Lizardmen. He decides he doesn't want any of that because there's a chance that would beat him and then run him down, so he decides to flee. So he flees, and then I charge with my Dark Riders. He flees again, and I rally with my Hydra. So that's where his Lizardmen, I guess, end up at the end of the game. I take a pot shot at the skinks, kill 1, and that's it. So we go up to add all the points to see where we end up, and the final tally is about a difference of 184 points. That includes him killing my Sorceress General, my BSB, and capturing one of my banners, and of course I captured one of his banners. So it's very close game. Let's see. I think at the end of the game, I ended up killing his 2 priests, the Scarvet, the Cohort, the Temple Garden, the Ancient Stegodon, the Salamander, and Urberdactyl, and he killed my Sorceress, the BSB, the Harpies, the Witches, and the Executioners. I didn't mention the Temple Guard died. I did say that there was 1 left. He ended up fleeing, and he fled off the board by the end of the game. So, it was a really close game, like I said earlier. As far as strategy is concerned, my one simple goal was to get into combat with his Temple Guard, kill the Temple Guard, and kill the Slan. I only got half that done, and really it's because my opponent did a really good job at the get-go to use his magic to put me at a disadvantage, and it was forcing me to rush him on his own terms, engage him, and I wasn't able to finish the job. I made a fight of it, but was not able to complete the job. So I hope you enjoyed the game, despite the fact that I didn't take as many pictures as I usually do. I'll be sure to work on that next time. But again, if you like this, please like, comment, or subscribe, and I will see you guys later. See ya.